Edmonton Oilers 3, Calgary Flames 2. Welcome to the day after reaction with myself, Waz, and Zach Lang from OilersNation.com. Zach, how we feeling after that win? Battle Alberta Part 2.
Got to be feeling pretty good, Waz. I mean, that's a pretty big win for the Oilers. They lost a tough one earlier in the year against Calgary. They bounced back in a really nice way last night. A 3-2 win. Stuart Skinner, he looks like the real deal. Zach Hyman, the guy can't stop scoring goals. Connor McDavid, he's a magician. There was a lot of things to really like from last night's game.
So I was just opening TikTok up before we started this, and I got a comment on our TikTok. The Flames outplayed them, just got some lucky bounces. What's your take on that?
Yes and no. I mean, if you look at the underlying numbers, that would ring true. I mean, the Oilers did a really poor job in controlling the shot attempt share, the expected goal share. They gave up 14 high danger scoring chances at 5-on-5 and only had 7. So in a sense, yeah, Calgary in a way outplayed the Oilers, but it never felt like that game was ever out of reach. Right? And I think that's what's really important is the fact that, the Oilers were able to play a tight game, especially in the first half of that game. That was a really, really tight game. And you know what? Calgary really pushed. They really pushed. But man, bend but don't break, right? Stuart Skinner was tremendous in net, and he was a big reason why the Oilers were able to come out victorious last night.
It felt like this was the tamest Battle of Alberta we've seen in a long time compared to the last few games. In a while, the Oilers only allowed 2 goals by the Calgary Flames credit to Stuart Skinner. It was just a weird paced game. I thought it felt like neither team wanted to make a mistake. They wanted to perfect every pass, and it was weird. I found.
Yeah, I think so, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. I mean, look at the way the Oilers played St. Louis this last week on the road, right? It was a very similar game where the Oilers were very committed to playing their defense first, and I think that was a huge reason why the Oilers were able to come out victorious not only in that game but last night too. Again, the Oilers gave up a lot. They were heavily outshot, but at the end of the day, like I said, it never felt like that game was out of reach with the way the Oilers were playing.
Yeah, no, let's get to your 3 takeaways from this game. What was your first takeaway?
Stuart Skinner, he is the real deal. I couldn't be happier with the way this young man's career has progressed. Ever since the Oilers drafted him, at every single level he's played in, he's gotten better every single year.
Yeah.
He's earned every opportunity that he's gotten to be a professional goaltender. Every step of the way, he has proven himself. And he's doing it again here. He's got a .955 save percentage on the year. That leads all NHL goaltenders. He's only allowed 4 goals this entire season so far, 5 goals, something along those lines. He's playing incredible hockey and he's keeping the Oilers in games like last night.
What's your second takeaway?
My second takeaway is actually Jesse Puljujärvi.
I
thought he played one of the best games that I've seen him play. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was really using his body last night and being a very physical player. We saw him dump Milan Lucic in the first period with a pretty big hit. Midway through the second period, we saw him clean up a Calgary Flames forechecker. The Flames had a bit of like a 2-on-1, 2-on-2. Puljujärvi was the first forward back and caught that Flames player with a really big hit in open ice. And then in the third period, we saw him roughing it up with Milan Lucic a little bit, right? Luch gives the young guy Ryan McLeod a ride into the boards. And what does Puljujärvi do? He comes over and throws a shot.
Yeah, it's great.
And beyond that, I thought he had a really good game too.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Puljujärvi, if people tend to criticize him because he's not scoring goals, he's not putting up points, but he does all the little things right, and that's what really matters at times. And third takeaway.
Yeah, and just one other thing to Puljujärvi too. Just wanted to add, this physicality isn't really something we've seen from him a lot, right? Like he's been a physical player in the past, but not like in a lay a big hit. He's physical on the boards. He uses his body. He boxes guys out. He's strong in front of the net. So this element of this physicality and laying the body a little bit more, hopefully can help bring a little bit more confidence in his game. My third takeaway is going to be the Oilers' top line of Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Zach Hyman. These 3 are a problem. They are a problem for other teams.
And not a problem for us.
That's not a problem for us. There's been some really good chemistry in the past, I've thought, between Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I mean, Connor McDavid's always had chemistry with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins dating back to the early days when Connor first broke into the league with the Oilers. You look at that top line, I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I mean, we talked about this on O&R the other day, right? I talked about how Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is just such a great secondary player. I truly think he's one of the best in the league at it. And for him to be able to play on the wing takes a lot of the pressure off of him for a lot of the defensive commitments, so to speak. And on top of that, you look at a guy like Zach Hyman, who he's not the biggest player, but he plays just such a big man's game, and he's so successful at it. On his game-winning goal, the work that he did down below to still be able to get a pass out to Connor McDavid in the slot, get to the right spot and receive it and dump it into the net in the span of like 3, 4, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. And then McDavid, I mean, what do you say? He's the best player in the world, right? I mean, it's just, he's got 18 points in 9 games. He's got 9 goals and 9 assists. He's on pace to score 164 points this year and score 80 goals. Like, it's just, none of that's gonna, like, I mean, the points maybe, but like, he's not gonna score that many goals. But I mean, 9 goals, 9 games already. He is already well on his way to being a Rocket Richard winner this year.
100%. And then I think you got one thing I wanted to get your take on is that because of Stuart Skinner's success, I had a comment on TikTok again. It was like, oh, Oilers fans are already giving up on Jack Campbell. Like, what do you think of the Jack Campbell Stuart Skinner situation? We're not really giving up on him, are we? No one is. No one is.
We're 9 games into the season.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell has started 6 games. Stuart Skinner started 3 games. They're a 1A and 1B situation. Granted, I think that right now Stuart Skinner is the better goaltender, but Jack Campbell's a guy historically who's always had slow starts to the year. He's never been a great goaltender in the month of October. So, you couple that with the fact he's playing in front of an entirely new team, entirely new system, entirely new defense. Everybody's just got to take a deep breath. Like, everybody's just got to really relax about, Jack Campbell and the Oilers goaltending. What's really important is that Stuart Skinner's playing some really good games. He's helped get the Oilers some big wins, and Campbell's done similar too. Yeah. He's had some good games. Like, he really has. You know what? There's so much season left. Like, come talk to me after game 25, after game 30, right? Then we can actually say, okay, well, now we have a legitimate sample size of Jack Campbell as a goaltender for the Edmonton Oilers. And now we can actually sit here and say, okay, well, what does it look like for him? How is he looking? How is he doing? Until that point, yeah, of course, you want to see good hockey being played by him and strong consistency. But, the Oilers defense has been shaky too. Topic for another day too is I almost wonder if the Oilers defensemen miss Mike Smith a little bit. You look at the way that Mike Smith was a strong puck mover from the back end. He really helped settle down the Oilers defense at many points. And I almost wonder if the Oilers defensemen are kind of like, okay, we have to adjust our play a little bit now because we know we don't have that strong safety net with the puck in Mike Smith. Like, Jack Campbell isn't a puck-moving goaltender. Stuart Skinner's not a puck-moving goaltender. I mean, there's only one of them that's existed in the last 10 years, and it's been Mike Smith, right? So there's a lot of change to this Edmonton Oilers team, even though it may not look like it. I think, everybody's just got to take a really big, deep breath. The Oilers just went 3 for 3 on the road on the first road trip of the year. I mean, that's like, if people are going to be complaining after, coming out of 3 tough games, a 3-0 record, I mean, I don't know what to tell people.
Well, they say it's like, oh, you're already giving up on your $25 million goaltender. I'm like, no, we're not. Relax.
No, not at all.
And
it's far from it.
As long as the Oilers are winning games, who cares who's starting in net?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, it doesn't, the Oilers actually have a 1A and 1B. Yeah. And that's something that wasn't really the case the last couple of years because both Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen were highly variable goaltenders. They could either, they'd either give you an 850 or a 950, and there was very rarely any in between.
Yeah, there you go. And I think that's it for the day after reaction with myself, Zach. And don't forget to head to OilersNation.com for more in-depth analysis. Comment, like, and subscribe. Your thoughts on the Battle of Alberta Part 2, and we'll see you next time. Peace.